What's up, everybody? Welcome back, or welcome to the first weekend preview episode of the season. We missed last weekend. Just Nate had some family stuff. I was pretty busy with school, but we were watching all the games. So we came prepared, ready to talk about what's going to happen this weekend. We'll run back a little bit about last weekend since we did do a recap episode, but we're going to try and keep it somewhat brief. Just because this is going to be out Friday morning before games, and we want you guys to be able to watch, hear everything you guys need to know before you guys watch your intake of games this weekend. We have a pretty fun slate. Honestly, I would say last week's a little better, but there's some pretty fun series, some pretty fun games. So that being said, we can get right into it. We could start. Nate, what do you want to start with recapping last week in a little bit?
We can.
We could just do let's just do a quick overview. Quick, we each give a 2 minute, 3 minute overview
Like
and
just some big no, let's just talk about some big things that happen.
big things that
Just
happen. Sounds good. You start. We each go.
some big things that happen. I'm gonna say it again. I said it last time. Louisville dropped two to Michigan State. Michigan State that had them in the bottom of the Big Ten going into the year. But
Yeah,
Michigan State, when I watched them play, they were like a more complete team. They looked like they've been playing together for way longer than Louisville has. Louisville has a lot of transfers that are trying to connect. So I'm not really worried about Louisville at all. I'm also really impressed by Michigan State. So it's not much about what Louisville didn't do. It's more about what Michigan State did do. And I think that Michigan State, they have a big future. And I think Louisville is a team we got to watch close this upcoming week.
yeah, and I think that kind of segues into what I'm going to talk about. While you watch a lot of ESPN Plus games and a lot of the games that were on, I try to tune into some of the flow games, just having access to it. And so I'll talk a little bit about some of those games. I'll start off with Michigan. They had themselves a great week. Their only loss was Monday in extras while we were filming what would have been our recap episode that didn't come out. We were watching that game and they dropped it in 10 to Oregon State. And other than that, I mean, they had a great weekend. They beat Oregon State Friday opening day, going into things, started off the season hot, and then reeled off two more close win against Stanford, big win against top 25 at the time, Arizona, who struggled, really struggled. And then, yeah, but Michigan had themselves a great weekend, went 3-1, and yeah, they're making the Big Ten a little more competitive, a little more fun to watch.
They are. Something else I want to talk about is I want to talk about your guy Cam Johnson from Oklahoma. A lot of people really put low expectations on this Oklahoma team, and they really went into the biggest tournament, arguably of the year, and they went out there and just went 4-0 like it was nothing. And they played some really solid teams. TCU is my favorite to win the Big 12, and they just shut them out. They looked way better. And then back to Cam Johnson, he struggled the first 2 years at LSU, at Oklahoma. Didn't really play much at LSU. Saw limited action. Oklahoma, he was injured, right? A little bit.
A little bit had some issues last year,
Yeah,
some
he's
stuff going
injured, but
on.
then he looked like in year three to begin the year, he got the ball to start the year, and he looked like a top 20 recruit coming out of high school that everyone had promised. I mean, he was a first round pick, arguably out of high school, and he looked like that last week.
Yeah, I'll add to that and then I'll move on. But like you said, just Oklahoma was I don't want to say I want to say a bottom feeder because in the SEC there is no real bottom feeder other
They
than
were closer to
I
the
don't want
bottom
to.
half.
They're closer. I mean, yeah, in the SEC preseason poll, they're picked 14. But just looking at those teams in that tournament last weekend, you go into Globe Life with Vanderbilt, TCU, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech,
Arkansas.
Arkansas as well. And those are some really, really good teams going into there. You don't expect Oklahoma to be the one that goes out of there undefeated. And they made a statement. Like you said, Cam Johnson got the ball and shoved on Friday night, but then again, coming right out, the UNLV transfer, LJ Mercurius, came out the next night and struck out 12 over 6. And the freshman, Cord Rager, the lefty, against TCU, went out there on Sunday and shut them down. And I'm super excited just to continue watching Oklahoma and see if their staff can continue to put this together because Skip Johnson's bringing in a full new rotation into this year. So, yeah. Um, and then another storyline I wanted to talk about. Probably, in my opinion, the most fun series of the weekend was UC Santa Barbara and Southern Miss.
Mhm.
Jackson Flora, a name that if you guys don't know, he's UC Santa Barbara's Friday guy, and he is someone
You gotta
that
learn that name.
yeah, you
That's the
got to
name you
learn that
gotta learn.
name. He's a name that I'm turning on every single Santa Barbara game on Friday night because I want to watch the first 6 innings. And when he goes out, chances are the game goes off and I switch the game to something else. He is that good. He's a name that I watch every weekend, and he looked the part in their first game against Southern Miss. And then Southern Miss came back in game two and game three and won both of them in thrilling fashion. UC Santa Barbara did uh did squander that series away though.
And it was a game that many people did not have circled on their calendar for some reason. Because when I saw that game, when I saw that series, I really thought that was going to be the series of the week, and it was. I don't know why people didn't really have that game tuned in because I honestly think those they deliver some of the best games of the week.
Yeah, in my opinion, like I said, yeah, they had two thrilling games. I mean, the Sunday game, the rubber match for the series was tied late. UC Santa Barbara went up. Southern Miss hit a homer. UC Santa Barbara answered back with a double and a homer. Then Southern Miss answered back again with another home run, and so you get a mix of everything. You got pitching in that series. You got good offense. You got a couple miscues that led to some fun moments, big moments, and you got a nice 2-1 series in favor of Southern Miss. Santa Barbara's a really good team, though. Look out for them later on in the season.
Mhm.
Um, let's see what else. I,
Last week, we can talk about my Houston Cougars 4-0. They looked really good,
yeah,
and like I said, they have a lot of transfers. They're a new team, and they looked complete. They were bunting the ball. They were getting people over when they needed to. They were winning games. They were winning games by one run, but they were doing what they needed to get that win. And then another team in that tournament that really disappointed me was Wake Forest, top 25 team coming in. But I'm not really worried about them like I am some other teams that didn't look good because they're freshman loaded. They have Andrew Costello, JD Stein. They have freshmen for out the freshmen. So I think that's one of the teams that you're going to see get better week in and week out. So I'm not really worried about Wake Forest hold too much.
yeah, yeah. Some young pitching as well. A lot of turnover in that staff, that rotation, that roster. I think they'll. I mean, they had a little bit of a, I don't want to say like fallback year last year because they played well when it mattered in postseason play and they did what they needed to do.
They were a
But
couple outs from getting out of the Knoxville regional. So.
yeah, and so um, they're a team to watch continuing moving forward. I'm hoping they bounce back. Another point that I made, just wanted to say this. New head coaches seem to have some success. James Ramsey, Georgia Tech, in my opinion, I mean, they played now, all things being said, the competition wasn't the best,
They
but
played Bowling Green, I'm pretty sure,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, competition wasn't the best, but opening weekend, uh, they were the team that, in my opinion, looked like they had the least holes, least flaws. But then again, it's like I said, opening weekend. Every team is gonna have some miscues. Every team is gonna have their moments. So not too much to put stock on there. Another coaching debut. Coach Corey Muscara out in Duke had a bit of everything: a win, a loss, an ejection. What a fun weekend. Shout out Coach Corey. Um, and then I don't know. I don't have much else. Some really fun impact transfers. Saw Kenny Ishikawa out of Georgia, both behind the plate and on the mound. Not behind the plate, but at the plate and on the mound. Driving in some runners, hitting some doubles, throwing 4 1/3 scoreless innings. Blaine Brown had himself a 3-homer day on Saturday, 2-1 game in a doubleheader. Um, and Will Gasparino made himself known to UCLA fans on the midweek yesterday against Tulane.
Hmm.
Had himself 2 home runs. Carson Tinney for Texas had a big impact weekend. And so overall, a lot of impact transfers, a lot of fun, a lot of new adjustments, new names, and new places. Um, yeah, that's what I have. A little bit of a recap for week one. Try not to drag that out too long, but like we said, no team has been flawless thus far. Georgia Tech, in my opinion, looked like the best team, or the least flawed team in week one. Not necessarily the best, but yeah. Nate, anything else before we start moving on?
I think you hit it. I think you hit everything.
Now, I want to move on to just some storylines before we go ahead and look at our, obviously, what you guys are waiting for to see, our pick 'em. But I want to talk about some talking points going into this weekend. And obviously, the big series on the docket in week two is TCU heading out west to play at UCLA. And we found out yesterday that their Friday starter, Tommy Laporte, is going to be out. It's arm soreness, it's precaution. Always, always nervous when you hear elbow, arm. Um, so obviously some concern, but the question is, does that completely change the outlook for you on this, how the series goes this weekend? And do you think TCU has the depth, particularly in the pitching staff and the bullpen, to outlast UCLA in a series if it gets there?
Yeah, I think it does change how I look at the series because when I look at a series, I think you want to get out early. I think you want to win game one. And
Especially on the road.
Exactly, especially going to UCLA. That's a far travel, and I think Tommy was going to help him do that. And so when I heard about that news, it kind of just flipped everything because I'll be honest, I was going to pick TCU in a close one, and now I'm really think I really don't have a winner yet. I'm going it's going to be like on the fly when we do the pickems. So I do think it changes a lot, and I really am. Have they announced the Friday starter yet?
I I don't even know.
Do you think Noah's going to get the ball?
I think
'Cause I don't think
Noah's a
I don't think
bullpen. I think they want to use him out of the bullpen. They want to use him sparingly. They don't want to give him too much free reign because he's also such an impact bat.
maybe they just maybe
I
they
think
just
I
move
think
everyone up a day. I would move everyone up a day, and then and then what's it called? And
Sunday
then
run an
Sunday, I'll just go
opener.
two people out the bullpen, 2 innings out the bullpen.
Yeah,
I'll change it up.
run an opener. Yeah, I don't hate that strategy, and I think um I don't know. I think, yeah, Noah Franco is going to be big in this series out of the bullpen. If he can come in a game that's close and be the difference maker, throw 2 to 3 innings in a game and keep them in it, and
I think
TCU wins that game,
if
that can
TCU
change the
wants to
series.
win, I think if TCU wants to win on Friday, they're going to have to put up at least 7 runs. That's the bare minimum I'm looking at. Because UCLA can hit the ball. We know that. We know who they got. So I think it's going to be have to be at least 7.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we'll talk more. I don't want to preview that series too much just because
Yeah, I wasn't trying to pick anyone yet. And
that's at the top
I
of
still really don't have anyone. It's 50-50 for me because
yeah.
TCU looked really good until the Oklahoma game.
Yeah, and that's at the top of our list for the Penguins. We may have to just talk about that last. Um,
Hmm.
we mentioned it a little bit. My question for you, and it doesn't just have to tailor to Louisville, but Louisville was the program that came to mind when I thought of this. Is this weekend, weekend two, a make or break, if you want to call it, weekend for teams like Louisville, which last weekend obviously a rough start. Some other teams had some faltering starts. Vanderbilt didn't go out according to plan. Oklahoma State had a rough start, in my opinion. Texas Tech, but for some of these programs, and all their situations are different, and especially the Big 12 programs where they play a little bit of a weaker conference, a little bit lesser competition than the SEC, ACC. Is this weekend a make or break weekend for maybe any of those programs or any program that you have in mind that maybe struggled?
Make or break. I want to say make or break, but I would expect a big change in things because, like you said earlier, no team really looked like they didn't have a flaw anywhere. Everyone struggled in a part of the game, so I'm not really worried about Louisville. To be fair, because their code they're good every year. Louisville, say they struggled say they struggled last week, I expect them to get right back where they left off last year next week. So I'm not really looking at that. I'm not really don't think it's a make or break week. I expect them to put up a lot of runs. I expect their pitching to look a lot better. Their pitching was really the reason they lost last week. So I expect them to be right back at it. I expect them to be fine.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a make or break week.
I didn't tune in that much to Louisville last week, so I really can't speak that much on it. I saw some of the highlights. I saw Michigan State playing, some good small ball at times, doing what they needed to do to win games, and I think it was just Louisville making some mental miscues and beating themselves at times. So should be interesting to see them bounce back. I think Vanderbilt is another team that like Colin Barcy, who hit 3 home runs on Friday, unfortunately is still the reason they lost that game with the throw that he made into the
Mm.
outfield. And I don't want to put it all on one person. It's a team effort. The bats had to have been there. But you look at them and you look at the way their season ended last year, and you ask, is this going to be more of the same? What's on the table for Vanderbilt? Brody Johnson obviously leads the country in home runs going into today. I know there's games today, so maybe that's changed as we speak, but they have all the talent that anybody could really ask for in the world. And so I don't know. I don't want to say make or break weekend. You're right. It's too early to really say that, but it's a big weekend for Vanderbilt and for some other teams in that same I guess region of prestige and same struggle.
Hmm.
My next question, and you may not even have an answer yet because it's still too early. But after 4, 5, 6 games, I'm not going higher than that. Who has been the most fun team just to throw on and watch, whether it's a couple innings, whether it's you want to watch a game, I mean, whatever it may be.
You know, I might be biased here, but I'm gonna say LSU because they hit the ball far. They have fun while they're doing it. They have all these home run celebrations. They're flipping the bats. They're being cocky, and that's something I would like to watch. That's something I like to watch baseball because baseball can be boring when you're just going through the moment. You're just going through the things. You're not really having any fun to it. You're just going through the motions. And LSU, they're adding a little swagger to it, and I think that's much fun team to watch. Another fun team to watch, because I got to watch them up close. The Georgia Bulldogs, they're fun to watch because they're cocky too. They like to flip the bat. They like to talk stuff. They like to talk their stuff. So that's probably the two teams that I have the most fun watching.
So for me, after a couple games this year, like I talked about Southern Miss already, but they're just a team that I've enjoyed watching a lot just because they're in a lot of close games and they're doing the right thing to win these ball games and it's intense. I want a different approach than you in that sense because I know obviously you're more so on the fun swaggy team.
I like to watch guys have fun doing it. It's,
And I'll go and approach with your way, and maybe it's just because a lot of my guys are there right now, and I enjoy watching some of them play. But Miami has been a team that
I
has a
agree.
lot of fun, and the atmosphere has been electric. And I got to watch while I was falling asleep. I did fall asleep watching the game, but like that 13 inning game against UCF was a great game, and watching Alex Sosa, who I followed and I'm good friends with last year and the last 2 years at NC State, now go and do his thing in Miami. It's super fun. Derek Williams is having fun. Cuvée mashes, and they're just another team that hits the crap out of the ball, has fun doing it, talks. I mean, all the above. And so, yeah, Miami's been a really fun team in my opinion to watch. I've enjoyed them. My last question before we move into the pick'ems. Oh wait, we can look at something else before. But my last question, let's take the top six teams, and we could take more if we want, but let's start with the top six teams, and we can flip flop. I can do one, you can do one, but let's have the uncomfortable conversation of what is this team's true floor and what is this team's true ceiling? Because every team showed clear struggles this weekend. Um, we could do it in order if you want. I'll just pull up D1's rankings and we can kind of
We can do that. I'll let you go first, and
we
I'll
can
go
talk about
second.
some of the top. Yeah, you'll take your LSU. You take LSU.
I'll take LSU. I'll be realistic with my LSU Tigers.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I mean I'll talk a little bit about what they have as well. But first, we'll go to UCLA. Their D1's one. I personally disagree with that. I don't have them as my one, and it's not. And look, I mean, on paper, they're my two. Like, it's not a crazy big difference. But UCLA, in my opinion, has a floor of going 0-2 in regionals, really. And that's because their pitching is not where I think they want it to be at. And when Rock Chalowski struggles in a game, which it's baseball, players are going to struggle some games. When you have a team that you can't rely on pitching to go and hold another offense down, and when your offense relies on a spark plug like Rock Chalowski or like other guys to, be those catalysts, if they're struggling and the pitching isn't able to back it up and hold them through and get them through that tough time, then UCLA is going to be bounced out quick when it matters. But then you flip to the other side and the ceiling on this team it's just about as high as anybody else. I think them and LSU easily have the highest ceilings because because of UCLA, just like LSU, get hot at the right time. Um, I don't want to say this team is unbeatable. Every team is beatable on a certain night, but if all goes right for UCLA, I could see this team scoring 15 runs on anybody. And I don't think you beat it. I mean, it's quite hard to beat a team if someone scores 15 runs on you. So I think the ceiling for UCLA is a championship. I think they're up there with maybe three or four teams that really truly have that ceiling, but their floor is probably the lowest out of all of those teams.
Mhm. You pretty much hit it on the spot about about what I'm gonna say about LSU. I think their floor is an early bump out because I don't think their pitching is where it was last year. They don't have those guys that really. They don't have Kate Anderson. They don't have Anthony. They don't have Chase Shores. And I think, like you said, when you rely on someone to really get the lineup going and their pitching is struggling, you're not gonna find success there. And that's something that I saw LSU, even though they run rolled those two games last week, they didn't look good doing it.
Yeah.
They struggled. They were tied in the seventh inning with Milwaukee twice, and so I think you hit it pretty much right on the bullseye for LSU when you were talking about UCLA. They had to have the pitching to do it, and I don't see that currently right now. And I honestly, if I were giving them a ceiling right now, I would say a ceiling is a semifinal Omaha right now. But if they can get as good as I know they can get, I think it's a national championship, like you said.
Yeah. I agree. I have nothing else to really add to that. I'll move on. Um, I'll go number three, Texas. And I think this is a team that I don't want to say I think this team is its ceiling is capped. And I don't want to say that in necessarily a bad way, but my point is or at least I think maybe this will get my point across in a better way. I don't know if Texas has a team that's built to win it all, and I don't think they do, but I think Texas's floor is appearing in a super regional. And I think that's because you have three pitchers or at least two out of your three rotation arms, you can go out and trust for five solid innings, night in and night out. And that's Dylan Valentis, who, in my opinion, you can trust for 6 to 7 innings, night in and night out. He showed you that Friday or Sunday, sorry, which, hold up. Pigeonholing Dylan Valentis into a Sunday start is kind of ridiculous. Just saying. That's a Friday arm if I've ever seen one. Anyways, you have him, you have Ruger Rojas, and if I'm Texas and I'm going into a playoff series like that and best out of three, I'm not looking to a game three because my lineup is so complete. I have so much depth. I can play the game the right way. I'm very well coached with Jim Schlossnagle, with Max Wiener, with Nolan Cain. I mean, they have everybody you can possibly dream of on a sideline for a playoff run. I just, when I see Texas and I see them playing at their absolute best baseball, I still think there are some teams that beat them. And so that's why I think their floor is a super regional appearance. I think they're that good. I think they will be a top eight team, but I don't know if I see them getting much further than that. I could see them getting knocked out in a super regional. I could see them losing a game early in Omaha and playing against the ropes. And when you play against the ropes for quite a while, that's bound to fail.
Yeah, I agree. You're going to gotta remind me who the fourth team is.
It's
Mississippi
Mississippi
State, right?
State. Yeah.
Um, I think their ceiling is. You were talking about how there's a certain teams with the same ceiling. I think their ceiling is up there with LSU and all them. Their lineup is when they're on. I think their lineup is better than anyone else's. Ace Reese is a dude. He's amazing. He's a top 10 pick come this summer. And their bullpen, it looks great with Jack Bauer in it. He's the headline of it. He looked amazing. We did a post about him. Mississippi State, they did struggle their first weekend of the year, but like we said earlier, everyone struggled. So I'm not really taking too much into that and looking this week. So
Yeah.
I think their ceiling is as high as anyone. And if I had to put a floor on the team, I think their floor is a super regional, like you said, Texas. Mississippi State, they are my current pick to win the SEC, and it's probably gonna stay like that for a little bit. They're my pick to win the SEC. So I think they have everything it takes to go all the way. And I think they have everything it takes to have a one of the best years in Mississippi State program baseball history.
Personally, I find that interesting just because I don't know how their rotation is going to hold up, but I love their lineup and you hit that on the nail. Um, and for everyone that's going to comment and for everyone that has commented on our Jack Bauer post talking about his control, the dude throws 100
You
miles an
can
hour
you
from the
you could
left
teach the
side at
control. That's
the
what I try to tell people. You could teach the control.
He's to control. It's his
It's the
first
fact that he
outing,
throws
and he's
102 from the left
it's
side.
his first outing as a collegiate athlete as well. There comes nerves. He'll settle down as time comes on, and I'm not worried about him, and I'm not worried about their bullpen more so just how their starting pitching holds up throughout the year. Oh, I'm so happy that this is the five team because this shouldn't be the five team, but the fact that I get to talk,
It's a tech.
yeah, but the fact that I get to talk about this team just makes it so fun for
Who's
me.
next? Coastal?
Yeah, Coastal will be the last team. You'll finish with Coastal unless you want to finish. We could do a couple other teams if you want. We could hint.
I mean, think about Coastal.
Well, I'm gonna go Tech first.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
I'm gonna go Tech first. Um,
I'll let you talk about him.
whew, this is
You might be here for a
I
while.
think no. I'll keep it quick. I'll keep it quick. Um, they're my pick to win it. I mean, they're my preseason pick to win it. They're still my pick to win it after a week, and I think this is the highest ceiling in college baseball. I think the lineup is as elite as anybody else's, and you saw that in the first weekend. And Drew Burress didn't even really get that hot, and it was other guys that did their thing. And Drew Burress is too good of a player to not hit. Eventually, he'll come around, and the bat will come around, and the rotation, which is what everybody thought was going to be the question mark, is looking amazing. Cooper Underwood, the freshman, came in Sunday or in the second game of the doubleheader Saturday, did well. Charlie Wilcox, freshman out of the bullpen, looked great. Justin Shattuck, transfer out of Rutgers from the bullpen, throwing 100, controlling it, struck out two of his batters in one inning that he got. Could be a great closer option for Georgia Tech. When it gets into high leverage games, he'll get more innings, he'll get more time, he'll get more control and leash in games. And I mean, I talked about the lineup. You got Alex Hernandez, Carson Kurz, Jared Advincula, Drew Burris, Von Lackey. There's so many more. Caleb Daniels, the freshman, had himself a great weekend. Um, and so, look, there's not much else I need to say about Georgia Tech. They're a great coach team. They have a great roster. I think their floor, I mean, God, is it a stretch if I say their floor is Omaha?
Yeah, that's a stretch. I'm not giving it. I didn't even give LSU a Florida Omaha. I'm not giving anyone a Florida Omaha. I would say Georgia Tech's
Game losing
their
losing in
floor is
game
a
losing
their
in game
floor.
7 of a regional. I don't
No, I was gonna
see
say their floor is an 0-2 in a super, but
that cool.
just
Yeah,
not winning in a super.
yeah, maybe.
But here's the thing about Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech has the chance to be, hear me out, the greatest baseball team we've ever seen, or the most overrated. I don't think it's either the most overrated or arguably one of the better baseball teams you've ever seen. I don't think it's gonna fall in the middle. I don't think it's gonna fall in the middle. That's my hot take.
Wow.
I know. Because I don't even have them
Wait,
win. I
okay. So now let's talk about you want to throw out a hot take and I'll talk
I
regular.
don't even have them win
Look,
the ACC.
you don't have them winning the ACC.
Where's Florida State ranked?
16. Yeah, that's criminal, first of all.
That's bad.
That's
That's bad.
that's criminal. D1 has them ranked 16. We don't.
We have a top 10, top 5, damn
We
near.
have them we have them 3.
Yeah, I think Florida State, Georgia Tech. That's you're looking at one of the winners of the
We
ACC.
have Georgia
Yeah,
Tech 2, Florida
two.
State
Yeah,
3.
that's
Um yeah. I
because
mean,
Coastal Carolina. What I was talking about right now. They didn't look that good this weekend. Cameron Flukie,
and he's out this
he
weekend.
didn't look like the best pitcher, the best pitcher in the draft, the best pitcher in the country.
And he's
He
out
did.
this weekend.
He is out this weekend. So
And Dominic
Cameron
Carbone
Flukie,
just had
but
season-ending
I watched
surgery.
about 3 innings of the game because it was kind of putting me to bed. It's kind of boring. He looked flat. Everything was over the plate. He looked flat. He wasn't hitting spots. He was home run. And I was like, good gosh. And I was like, when I really looked at it, he just wasn't hitting spot. Everything was over the middle. He was letting them hit the ball. And when we saw him last year, he was dominating people, striking them out. That's what he did. And then this year, I don't know if he tried changing something that didn't work. He just didn't look like Cameron Fluke last year.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe it's not having Jacob Morrison pitch ahead of him. And maybe that is as simple as it is. And Jacob Morrison's a great pitcher. And so maybe being able to get someone to look at that lineup and go through it a day before him, maybe that made all the difference to him. I'm not sure. But look, I also Coastal's a team that pitching is like their strong suit. I think that if any team can figure out a rotation and put guys in spots that will succeed, Coastal Carolina is a team that can do that and play scrappy ball to get to a regional. But that being said, I think their ceiling is just a regional appearance.
Coastal Carolina?
Yeah.
I get this thing as an Omaha. No, Omaha, no, Omaha, no, Super Regional. I get this thing as Super Regional. I don't think they have what it takes to go to Omaha.
I think for me,
I think if
I'm low
any
on them.
mid-major team makes it to Omaha, I think it is either this is my 3 mid-major right here. This is gonna do right here. I'm gonna go Southern Miss one, UC Santa Barbara two, and I can't. St. Mary's even look good this week.
UC Irvine.
UC Irvine. Yeah, I mean, I think this might be one of the years where you don't see like a little mid-major make it. I think it might just be 8 powerhouses in Omaha.
So now we got Cody in. We're gonna do our pick'em and our. Are we doing our Golden Spikes power ranking? We can hold off until next week if y'all want to wait another week. It's
Yeah,
still
we do it.
warm.
It's whatever.
All right, let's run through pick'em and then
I'll
we'll
start.
hop off.
I'll go first with the pick'ems. It go me, Cody, Aiden. That's how it's gonna go this week because I have the
Okay.
best record.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not.
me and you
I'm
both
not doing
have
no
the
type of
same.
explaining
We
right
have
now.
the same record. You
Okay,
also haven't picked your winners.
what do you mean?
You said you don't know. You haven't picked. You're doing it on the fly.
Aiden, I need 2 seconds to pick,
All
nigga.
right, TCU at UCLA, the first series.
I'm gonna go UCLA just because they're missing their guy Friday night, and I think UCLA. I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna sweep them. To be honest, the 3-0 sweep.
Okay.
And I still think a healthy TCU is a better team though.
Okay. Cody.
UCLA to Omaha, bro. Give me UCLA. Come on.
I got it.
Damn. I like being different. Nah, I've UCLA 2-1. I picked it. I picked it after Tommy came out. I still think TCU could snag a game, but I think UCLA ultimately. I think UCLA steals Friday and Saturday, and I think TCU can come back and snag Sunday and not get swept. I think they'll
I
play
like
with
it.
everything on Sunday.
I like it.
Next, it's a one game. It's one game. It's in Arlington at Globe Life. We'll be there next week. But first, this week on Friday, it's Michigan taking on Florida State.
I got Florida State in an ass whooping.
Cody.
Florida State.
I also have Florida State. Um, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be an ass whooping though.
I do.
I think it's gonna be
I'm
really
thinking
fun.
like 8-3.
I think it's gonna be a really fun game. Michigan's been in close games all year so far, and it's Tate Carey their Friday night against West Mendez. I don't know, it'll be fun, but I'm watching that. I want to see every Miles Bailey at bat in Globe Life Stadium because
That's
I
where he's gonna be playing soon.
no, I know. Well, no, I wasn't even saying it because of that, but that's where he is this weekend.
All right, so I'm 2-0.
Next, we have Michigan State going to Texas.
Where's that at?
Give me Texas. I'll go
They're,
first. Give me
they're,
Texas.
Okay.
they're going to Texas.
Yeah, give me the Longhorns. Hook 'em,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, hook 'em, sweep.
Yeah, I probably got a sweep too.
Yeah, I have a sweep. Yo, this might be. All right, I don't want to say this might be my
Did the Auburn
game.
play a good game this week?
Yeah, they're on here. Don't worry though. I got them. I got two of them. But this might be my game of the week. On Saturday, Oregon State plays one game against Southern Miss.
Give me Oregon State.
Oregon State.
I got Southern. I got Southern Miss. Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I mean, where's it at? Where's it at?
Man, hey, me and Nate got
It's
them picked
in
this week. Come on.
Round Rock in Frisco. It's at a neutral site.
Yeah, give me Oregon State.
Give me Oregon State.
I got
Back
Southern.
to boy.
Give me Oregon State 7-4.
Next, we have another Saturday game. This one's at Globe Life. FSU takes on Auburn.
Give me FSU.
Trey Beard's first start. I have FSU.
Miles Bailey.
I
guess I follow crowd, bro. Fuck it. Here we go.
Hey, you
Next,
can't lose to me if you pick with me.
Yeah. Facts.
next, we got
Facts.
Dallas Baptist taking on UTSA at UTSA. This is my mid-major series of the week.
Oh yeah, I got DBU.
I got DBU. Yeah.
I got UTSA winning a 2-1 series. They're both 4-0, both undefeated. Didn't UTSA make Omaha last year?
No, they lost in the Super.
Supers? Okay.
They beat Texas.
Yeah. They beat Texas. Yeah.
Oh yeah, give me DBU.
Next, another Texas game, Globe Life. Michigan versus Louisville.
That's a good game, by the way. It's a one gamer.
It's a one game.
What day?
Sunday, I think.
Give me Michigan.
I have
Give me
Michigan.
Michigan. Give me Michigan.
I'll be different. I'll go Louisville right here.
That's not a bad pick.
It's not a bad pick.
It's a 50-50.
That's a 50-50. That's a 50-50 of a 50-50
That's a coin
game
flip.
to guess.
It's a coin flip, man.
Really is. I get that.
I'll take it.
Next. Oh, wait. No, okay, wait. That's Saturday, if that changes anything.
Yeah, actually does. Give me Louisville.
Louisville. Oh, if you pick me, you can't lose to me. Ain't that right?
Changes
Oh,
anything?
I didn't know. I thought it was on Sunday.
I thought it was too, but and then I'm realizing the next game is the Sunday game at Globe Life, Louisville versus Auburn.
Give me Auburn.
I also have Auburn.
Give me Louisville again. Come on,
Louisville can have a good weekend out in
Don't hate
Texas.
this.
I
man.
don't either. Some fun games, some really fun games at Texas this weekend. And then we go out west. Another one out west. Rice, undefeated, just beat Big Ten team Purdue yesterday. Going on to take USC, California's USC.
It's a 3-game series,
The
right?
3-game series,
I don't know. I don't know a lot about Rice. I know they lost their best player to Tennessee.
right? Yeah, Rice lost Davion Hickson to Mississippi State, and then he went drafted.
Yeah,
Then
give me the
Blake Brown.
Trojans.
Rice
I'll
puts
take
together
USC as well.
Rice puts together a solid team every year, but I did take USC.
Yeah, give me the Trojans. I don't
Give
know why
me,
I keep doing this every team
yeah,
now.
give me the Trojans. Grant Govil won pitcher of the week on perfect game. I
Is
don't.
that is that all? All the picks?
That's all 9.